Good morning, folks. Wow, 12:41. Forgive me for rubbing my nose. My little girl is sick still. It's not doing so good. I had to do a major cleanup here. I want to tell you about another treasonous, traitorous rat bastard. His name is Sean Hannity. You're a great American. The guy's full of himself and full of it. As Michael Savage says, as long as you have a good hairline. The guy doesn't have a college degree. He's the least educated of all those talk show hosts. Tried to follow in on the coattails of Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh, kind of a mixed bag on him. We'll get to him. But Sean Hannity is busy with his jingoism, trying to get you guys to go to war again. So who's that really for? Who's that working for? And every chance he can, he gets you to go to war for that little postage stamp of an illegal, illicit nation that was stolen over there called Israel. He's another Israel firster. Not the descendants of Israel the man, but the people that go around pretending they're Israel. The ones that pulled off the biggest identity theft in history. And he's trying to get you to go to fight. Now, what kind of a dumbass son of a bitch is that wants to start a thermonuclear war? Oh, he's just doing his job. He's another treasonous, traitorous rat bastard working for the CIA Mockingbird program. Folks, you got to shut this down. And the only way a man becomes syndicated in this nation is if he puts that sacred cow first. You know, you're not allowed to challenge sacred cows. You don't dare try to gore a sacred cow. And that would be Israel as the sacred cow. You all worship Israel. You don't want to worship that little illegal country that was founded with terrorism. Remember that guy, that weird comedian that was so weird he'd interview people? Rabat, Tabat, whatever his name was. Son of a bitch was singing songs about shove the Jew down the well, and he'd play his ukulele. Just weird ass mother, you know what I mean. That guy who did the video and made an embarrassment out of everybody and everything, including himself, he was actually telling you the truth about how they were founded. They shoved the Palestinians down the well. They founded that nation on terrorism. And remember this, Adolf Hitler is the father of modern Israel. He really is. If you don't believe me, go read Edmund Black, another Jewish gentleman, his book called The Transfer Agreement. He will tell you in great detail about the two different Jews, groups of Jews, who tried to represent all of Jewry to Adolf Hitler and make a deal with Hitler. And he'll tell you about the group that succeeded. It's pretty ugly, folks. It really is. You had one murderous group taking out the other group that wasn't murderous at all. They're actually good folks. They meant well. They played by the rules. They weren't willing to commit murder to get their way. So we are ruled by murderers and thieves. Sean Hannity is a treasonous, traitorous rat bastard. I can't stand listening to him. You're a great American. My God, how narcissistic do you have to be to say that stuff to everybody else and to hawk those kinds of wares and be a hawk like that? Folks, we need to leave these other countries alone. And you got people like him that ring you up, run you up, twist you up, get you going jingoistically to go after other folks. What good is that? What good is the United States of America? What good is the might of the United States of America when it's being misused like that? How many millions of people have we been involved in the killing of over the last century? If not by doing it ourselves, by standing by and letting the other son of a bitch do it. We have allowed revolutions to be launched from our shores by private citizens against the best interests of this country, against the will of the people of this country, And we haven't done anything to shut them down. We haven't done anything to charge them with their crimes, to bring them to justice. They're untouchable. They're too big to fail. So they've got you set up to fail, and they've got you pointing nukes at Russia, and the rest of the world pointing nukes at you. Who's going to win? Well, Yahweh's possible judgment is nuking us like Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0, like we've become since we've become his enemies. And I'm tired of this big box church stuff on the corners in churchianity. They lie about most everything. They make it sound good. They cater to the women in particular. They help the women destroy their families, destroy their homes. Oh, they back the women. Yes, it's your body. It's not ours. We don't have a right or a say-so in it at all. There's no such things as men's abortion rights. It's all women's abortion rights. How do you spell rights, folks? R-I-T-E-S. Like the wicked satanic rituals that that stuff represents. And they got you hating yourself. Yes, they've got you turned in on yourself, turned in against your fellow man, your fellow Adam kind man. It's a massive psyop to get us to hate us for our own color of our own skin. What a bunch of hogwash. This evil is so big, it's so vast, and you're just becoming aware of it. Who can fight against him? It says in the Bible. How do you fight against such a big monstrosity, huge evil? I remember one of the brightest women to ever walk the face of the earth said that if we actually fought a war against the drug trade, we would lose all of our retirements. Why? Because our retirement money is invested in the dope trade across the world. And I remember that fellow who changed his name to Lyndon the Red, Lyndon LaRouche, who actually was just another form of brand of communism. I corresponded with him. I liked his book, Dope Incorporated, and I urged him to come up with a new edition. The third edition had been out since the 90s. What did I learn from that book? What did that book teach us? Well, Vermont's #1 cash crop was dope. Dope is a significant cash crop across the United States, yet it's been illegal for a long time. Wow. How's that working for you? Not to have that freedom and to be so hypocritical. And why did they do reefer madness and turn us against an herb, an oil, something that actually was nutritionist for us? Yeah, so nutritionist for us that we had receptor sites in our bodies for it? They did it to make us unhealthy. Now, I'm not into smoking all that crap. Yeah, I did it. Rates up there among the top 5 stupidest things I ever did in my life. It's been a long time ago. I had a rough time overcoming it, and especially the damage I did to myself. Like I said, it wasn't the dumbest thing I ever did, but it ranks up there in the top 5, the top handful of things that I did that was just plain stupid. But should we be putting our fellow man in prison because he gets relief from this herb, this natural plant? This plant, the oil of which was a major component of the anointing oil in the Bible. I watched those videos of those little kids having seizures. It was horrible to watch. And they give him a drop of cannabinoid oil or whatever the heck it is, and he simmers right down as if it was medicine for that child. And you want to make it illegal for him because you're afraid he might become a dope addict. Hell, if he keeps seizing, he's not going to have much of a cortex left. He's not going to live a very long time. Definitely going to be a burden on the rest of us because we're going to have to take care of him. Going to have a short life. So what right do you have to dictate to somebody out of your own ideologue crap, your own stupid stuff, that he can't do what's best for him and live the best life possible. You dumbasses out there. No tolerance. One marijuana seed, you're going to go away for 20 years. Nevada was a stupid-ass state about that stuff. I mean, here it was. You had Mormon women who were selling their bodies off, and you had the mob come walking in there and with gambling and all that, and they needed the girls to attract the crowd as well. They all worked together, folks. And dope was not tolerated. But yet, you got prostitution legal and you got gambling legal. How twisted up is that? When you got a person going to prison for 20 years because they found one pot seed. Lorraine. She's still not doing very well. Still got the runs. Yes, I got you. I got you. Your nose is cold. Yes. No, no teeth. No teeth. I'm not your chew toy. No, 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 no. I see the tail wag. Down. Down. Not going to listen to me. What did I say? Lorraine, down. Now. Oh, my Lord. She's got to resist me like you resist my ideas. You resist the truth. You don't want to be told the truth. You want to be told smooth things. You want to be told lies. You want to be lied to. You want to be told you're a great American. You want to be told how wonderful and how good you are and how you're the latest and the greatest and how you're a free nation. No, folks. You're living in Slavelandia. You're a slave. They took away our constitutional rule of law and they superimposed interstate commercial code, uniform commercial code for the last 70 years, supposedly to make everything uniform. Is that not dictatorial? Is that not communist? Why can't people live the way they want, freely the way they want? They're not hurting anybody else. There's no victim on those crimes. Oh, don't get me wrong. Some of it I know is against Yahweh's word. I understand that. But what business do we have imprisoning more people per capita than any other nation on the face of the earth? And you tell me you live in the land of the free and the home of the brave when you've got the biggest business in a lot of states. The biggest industry in most states today are their prisons. Federal government pays them for incarcerating people. They reward them. They get a profit off their prisons. Just like to get a profit for that practice they've been requiring the hospitals and doctors to do, whereby they practice a less than optimum, a less than honest medicine. As I told my physician a week or two, last month, you guys, you're never going to be able to maintain your credibility at this rate. And you're going to tell me that I can't have treatments that I want because you don't understand them. You don't know what they're about. The hell kind of physician are you? You're treating old people. So why don't you learn about supplements and things that help old people out? Oh, no, I've never written for that before. Come on, man. Grow up. Get yourself a real education. Open your mind. Learn how to think for yourself. You're supposed to be a scientist. No, man. You're just a drug company prostitute. You're just pimping for big pharma. And that's all there is to it. Sean Hannity comes out with some of the weirdest stuff. And he definitely misleads people. Another Judas goat. He wants to lead you down another military path in which we inflict damage upon other people that don't have it coming to them. Why? Because the predators that own this country, that own you and me, that own it all, they got to make a profit. They got to make some more money. Those folks work in a pack. They feed and predate upon the rest of us in a pack. Oh, don't get me wrong. They fight among themselves a bit. Yeah. To see who's going to be the leader of the pack. And you're going to fall for these dumbasses that want to take you to war. And, I mean, that's what's going on. You're not giving them what they want, so they're going to take you to war. You're waking up trying to throw their yoke off. You realize you've been lied to and deceived, and they can't have that, so they're going to take you to war. And Sean Hannity is going to be there pumping it up all the way, along with O'Reilly, another son of a bitch, another warmongering guy who's going to tell you, we could truly do this if we just put everything to it. No, folks. What's the goal? What's the goal? What are they really trying to do? What is the behavior? What is it they're trying to elicit? Nuclear war. Nukes going back and forth across the planet, just like written 3,000 years ago in the Bible. I know you're going to say, well, it's written in the Bible. We can't change that. No, no, no. You need to read the Bible a little bit more carefully. You will realize that there's always been an option. There's always been an opportunity. Opportunity to do what? To repent, to return to Yahweh, to abide by his commands, his ordinances, his rules, and to get the blessing by doing that his way, not our way. Even Yahshua, who you folks insist upon worshiping, he didn't want you to worship him. He pointed you to his Father. He pointed to Yahweh. And he set the example. As he said, he didn't do anything outside of Yahweh's will. Constant contact with Yahweh. That's what we were designed for. We were designed to do it all in relationship to Yahweh. Not to be separated out and split off like these devils have cajoled you into going your own way, into doing what you think is right. If you really want to know what's right, you read the Bible, you learn those 10 Commandments, which is natural law, folks. That's all that is. And you abide by it as best you can. You can't do it perfectly. And fulfilling and abiding by one of those commandments, you will invariably cross another one up. Hopefully it's just a small cross up, and you choose the best way to go. And if you don't know the way to go, then you pray about it. Pray to Yahweh that he'll show it to you. Yahweh will speak to you. Sometimes directly, which will scare the heck out of you. And that's almost no fun. It's scary. And sometimes through other people. Sometimes through the animals. Sometimes through the environment some way around you. Sometimes through beings that walk around us that you don't see and you can't perceive. What, you think that this stuff, the space is space, it's all empty? How many dimensions do you think there are? Yeah, I know, you've got length, height, width, that stuff. You've got these dimensions, you have these perceptions, these senses. I stopped counting when I was a little boy at number 11. I don't remember what I was thinking about back then. It's been a long time since I thought about that stuff. And when I tell you I was a little boy, I really mean it. Like 7th or 8th grade, maybe 4th grade. I was in on that stuff, sorting stuff out. And then I ended up stuck in this mass insanity that everybody is stuck in. You think I escaped their brainwashing? Oh, no. Hell no. Even I am subject to that stuff. It takes a lot to break out of their prevailing brainwashing. It takes a lot to think independently. It takes a lot to think for yourself. And of course, you do need your free will. And you do need to be able to choose. And you need to have enough going on so that you can choose the best way to go. And Yahshua, who you call Jesus, his real name was Yahshua, he always did his Father's will. He did nothing outside of his Father's will. He set the bar high. He set the example straight ahead. You and I are supposed to actually pray to Yahweh. We're supposed to submit to Yahweh. We're supposed to do his will. The Israelites had a lot of problems. You go read the book of Judges. And every time a guy got into trouble, they prayed to Yahweh. They pleaded to Yahweh, help us. This is just too much. And Yahweh would send them a judge. And the judge would rescue them. And the rescuing only held for so long, until the Israelites once again forgot Yahweh, drifted off, failed to do Yahweh's will, failed to inquire, failed to abide by those laws, those rules, all of those those wonderful things that would bless them if they did them? Forget about the character, the content of their character. You know, the intent. Hillary never intended to break the law. No prosecutor in their right mind would prosecute her. Yeah, because they don't want to get their asses greased. They don't want to get whacked. That's why. That son of a bitch Comey is still walking around free, even though he hurt this country so much. And his wife got paid off. He got paid off through his wife so well. Sociopathic, for sure. The weirdest one of them all was Peter Strzok. My God, the look on that man's countenance when he was testifying before Congress. Wow. Talk about the face of evil. And remember who put him into power and who made it invincible. Barack Insane Obama, who wasn't even an American citizen. Wasn't even a citizen of the United States of America, yet it was okay to make him president. And you couldn't challenge it because Bill O'Reilly said that. And he mocked you because you wanted to challenge that. I told you, folks, these guys have specific psychological hit jobs to run on the public. They do their mission rather well. They work and give you a little bit of truth, a little bit of this or that. They cater to you quite a bit. They deceive you. They tell you smooth things. They tell you how great you are. They tell you how free you are. And this is the greatest nation on earth. This is the biggest bunch of idiots on the whole planet. The world laughs at us. Actually, they're crying for us because they can see how screwed up it is, and they feel sorry for us. But they're also worried about their own asses because they can't trust us. Heck, one of the worst things you can do is become a friend of the United States of America. Ask Saddam Hussein how that worked out for him. He lost his head over it. And that CIA woman who actually had her hand on everything, could get anything this country wanted, they didn't want that. They wanted to go to war. So they actually imprisoned her under the Patriot Act. I think it was for like 5 years, and then let her go without charging her. She was blonde-haired when she went into prison, and she come out gray-haired. Man, you should listen to her on YouTube. If we had done the right thing, we would have had all the oil we wanted. We would have been making all the cars we wanted. We would have been exporting them all to Saddam Hussein. He was willing to make sweet deals with us. He knew how to play the game, so he thought. But he didn't realize how ugly it is. Tim Osman, what was the other name for him? Yeah, he's the mastermind of all this stuff. He was a CIA asset, friend of the Bushes. And yet there are Papa Bushes out there ridiculing these people, ridiculing Saddam Hussein. Then they send out certain people like the ambassador to start wars. Then they get the ambassador's daughter to lie about, well, one thing about the Ukraine, at least we're not dealing with, the other side taking babies out of the incubators and leaving them to die on the tile floors, the cold floors. Lying bitch, set us up. She was the ambassador's daughter, and she lied to us. When are we going to make such lies that lead to murders and misery illegal? When are we going to when's that little bitch going to be brought to justice? How many millions of people is she responsible for the deaths for? I bet she's still alive. She was younger than I was at the time. Should she not be tried for her crimes, her deception that led to war, that led to the killing of 1 million Iraqis, 700,000 children? Peter Bregan's wife was talking about that. Oh, and you Americans didn't give a damn because we're the greatest and the most important. We'll do whatever we damn well please. God, you'd think you were all Texans. They're narcissistic as hell down there. They think they're the latest, the biggest, and the greatest. You ever watch how a Texan drives outside of Texas? Just like they drive in Texas. Get the hell out of my way. I'm not moving over for you. I'm not working with you. You can't merge on the road with me. You got to I'll run you off the road because it's my prerogative. It's my privilege. Most narcissistic group in the whole country. I'm not impressed by it. It's a big-ass, dumbass state. They got some weird laws over there. Oh, yeah. By the way, Houston, you get nuked like you wouldn't believe. And then on top of that, you get washed out to sea when that wave rolls in and rolls back out. Yeah, that's what's in store for you if this nuclear war goes off. If you keep ignoring Yahweh, if you fail to repent, if you fail to straighten your ass up and realize which way's up, which way's down, which way's right, which way's wrong. Man, read the first 5 books of the Old Testament. Read the 10 Commandments. Read the blessings for obedience. And then read the curses for disobedience. They're twice as long, and they are terminal. And they don't happen in any particular order. They're just written there. And one of those is the tail leads us. The tail takes over us. These minorities that you insist that we have to hold above us and regard higher than the rest of us. No, there's no racism in America. Hell yes, there is. There's systemic racism against the majority. That's that little tiny minority that's got a stranglehold on this nation. They've been doing shit to us for so many decades, it's not funny. And you can't think right. If you thought right, you would realize, geez, we have private property rights. So why shouldn't a man or a woman be able to do what they want with their own property? What is the government doing, dictating what you're going to do with your property? Do you not own your business? Can you not hire who you want to run your business, work for you, and do it the way you want? It's your business. So why is it that we're catering to all these ideologues that insist that we open our borders up and let in budding new Democrat voters to throw the electorate off? That is the sabotage of the nation. Democrat Party should be made illegal. Anybody for open borders ought to be tossed in jail, as far as I'm concerned. We need to lock down the country. We need to not let anybody out of this country until we process them. We assess the crimes they've committed, assess how they've leached off our nation, and we send a bill to their country. We send a bill to Mexico. Mexico doesn't want to pay up. I'll go to war with Mexico. I don't need a wall. I need a law that says it's a crime to be in the country illegally. It only makes sense, common sense. And I'm going to use the whole country of Mexico for a buffer zone. And those poor people down there subject to those drug cartels and all of that stuff going on with the Chi-Coms running their dope through there, the fentanyl. And you think, and they're called the Blues. That's their nickname on the street. It's called the Blues because it's a blue pill. And they freebase it. Okay, they toast it up, I believe, on aluminum, and then they inhale that shit. And it's cheap, and they get high off it. It's more addictive than heroin. So they take that risk. And there's a worse drug on the street. It's called the purples. 4 times more lethal than fentanyl. And I don't know what the real name of the drug is. I just know that when the Mesa police set up their observations, set up their sting operation, that the guy they were observing scored the damn purple pill, and did whatever he did with it, and walked off and fell on the sidewalk dead, and they had to break the cover to save the son of a bitch's life. They had to hit him up with Narcan 4 times before they got him back. It's that powerful, that lethal. The guy was dead before he hit the sidewalk. And they brought him back to life. I wonder if he was happy about that. He might have been real happy to go out the way he was going. And why do we have to spend so much money saving their lives when they should learn or fail to learn from their own mistakes? So we have a chemical war, a drug war against the citizens of America. So many people dying from that stuff. And we can't stop it because we have to keep the borders open for the damn Democrats and the Republicans. They're just 2 wings of the same dirty bird. It is one party. It is the two-faced party. It's one party. It's got two faces, and they're a bunch of liars and thieves. They put on good acts. They pretend to be at each other's throats, but together they work to take advantage of the rest of us. Man, Washington, D.C., District of Corruption, District of Criminals. We ought to just take large sheets of plywood and wall that little son of a bitch in square miles off and tell them, fine, you want to rule? You can rule your 10 square miles. Nobody comes out. Nothing, and nobody goes in. You can eat each other. You need to learn how to grow your own food. Get a real job for a change. Produce something. The new capital for America is going to be in Phoenix after the great earthquake happens. Yeah, I think it's coming. And Phoenix is going to be a deep water port. I wouldn't want to be in Arizona when that shit comes down. The Guardian Island is Sole de Angels, whatever, Guardian Angel, in the Sea of Cortez, is a weird island, and the sea's real deep around it. And the earthquakes happen in the deep off the south end of that island. And that's the beginning, I think, of the San Andreas Fault. And when Phoenix feels an earthquake, it's actually beneficial because it's relieving pressure on the San Andreas Fault. But it quakes all the way to Phoenix. And there's a weird kind of rattlesnake that lives only on that island. It's a species that's right there on that island, and that's it. And it reminds me of John, the beloved, John, the apostle, on the island of Patmos, stranded out there, writing the book of Revelation, in which Yahshua, who you call Jesus Christ, Yahshua the Messiah, dictated to John the apostle, and he took the book down. So you need to remember when you read that, sometimes you're reading John's perspective, other times you're reading Yahshua's perspective, his words. Folks, that's all I got for you. You need to stop tuning into those treasonous, traitorous rat bastards who claim they're conservatives with a capital C, because they're really just nothing but a cancer on the earth right now, a cancer on our nation. They deceive you. They mislead you. A bunch of Judas goats. They want to lead you to war. They want to set your ass up so they can get this thermonuclear war going all across the planet, because they're worried they're going to lose their power, they're going to be discovered, and we're going to take them out. And that we might have Pax Americana on the face of the earth for 1,000 years. We might actually recover our republic. We might actually do it the way our founders gave it to us. I don't think we have a choice. Either we do what the founders did and take away all pay and benefits from Congress, and we do not have the direct election of senators, but they come from their state governments, from their state legislatures, subject to instant recall if they fail to vote the way the state government wants. And since your state governments, which authorized the Constitution, which were the real parties of this covenant, parties of that contract, until they have representation, you have no republic. It is repugnant. It is repulsive. It's a good snow job. You think you live in a democracy. No, you don't. You got a bunch of dictators out there. You got a group that runs the show from behind the scenes that controls it all. Nothing happens by mistake, and they plan it well in advance. But they are overreaching. Their license given to them by Yahweh was to be able to sift us, to make sure we were tried and true, to tempt us. It wasn't to genocide us, but that's what they're doing. Clearly, they've exceeded the limits of their license. They did 9/11 to us. They attacked the USS Liberty. They killed our president's They killed several presidents, and they killed several men that would have become president. My God, they shoot down entire jet airliners in order to stop a man who they know will become president, and they can't run his ass around. All these presidents you have in office all got handlers and are controlled. And you allowed a non-citizen to become president. And this is his third term. He's a genius when it comes to going after Americans. And that's his job. He's working for Yahweh, only he doesn't know it. So folks, when are you going to rise up and embrace Yahweh, embrace his word, live according to the 10 Commandments? When are you going to do the will of Yahweh? When are you going to toss these bastards out? You don't need term limits. Congress shouldn't be paid. They're supposed to volunteer their time. And when they can't afford to support themselves, they go home and go back to work. We need to take away all their benefits, all their retirements, all their pay. Why? Because they've acted extremely illegally. As a group, they predated upon the rest of us. As a group, how much of that money going into the Ukraine comes back in the pockets of our politicians? Okay, folks, you keep listening to great conservatives, great Americans. They aren't Americans at all. They're citizens of the United States, corporate America. They're not citizens of their individual states. Well, I'm not either right now. I got to work on that one. May Yahweh bless. That's all I got for you today. This is 114 Giving Psychology Away. Throw these treasonous, traitorous rat bastards off the air. Take the licenses away of these corporations that are really helping to destroy us and controlling everything. I mean, destroy their corporations. We shouldn't have any corporations inside our borders. Our founders would never have allowed corporations to come into existence. The corporations didn't come into play until our Civil War. After our Civil War, they incorporated the United States of America, not once, but 4 times, 4 different ways to play a giant shell game to deceive you all, to imprison you all, to enslave you all. Yeah. The home of the free and land of the slave. Over and out.